Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
How much does he have to what?
Make to date you.
How much he has to make? I mean, first of all, he gotta be rich as fuck like Elon Musk. Like
how much?
Like Elon Musk.
What? You think a guy who's rich like Elon Musk is going for you though?
Elon Musk would eat this pussy all night. You know, 80 years old or 8 years old, he wanna eat this pussy. It's like that.
What makes you think he'd be interested in you?
What makes you think he'd be interested in me? I mean, first of all, I'm so sexy. You know, like, I'm very natural. Like, I ain't no, like, you know, hood bitch. Ain't no street bitch. Ain't no airplane bitch. Ain't no one-of-a-kind bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't like that.
So what kind of girl are you then?
What kind of girl am I? Like, yeah. I'm super fun. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so adventurous. I'm just kidding. I'm really just a bad bitch. I don't give a fuck about nobody. Okay. I don't give a fuck.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5", but I can be taller, you know, if I stretch this pussy tall enough. You know what I mean?
How tall you want you meant to be?
I want to be like 5'7", so I can like be kind of tall in heels. You know what I mean?
2 hours later.
How old are you?
I'm 47.
Let's say I wanted to take you out on a date. How much should I spend on that first date?
It doesn't matter. If there's a connection, it could be hot dogs in the park.
No, did you feel the same way when you were 22?
No.
What was the difference?
Educating myself, wisdom, being on the earth, understanding that someone can have means, but it doesn't mean they have to like show it right away. It's about connecting with someone.
What would the expectation have been back then as opposed to, now?
I think more of looking for someone to take care of me as opposed to I'm looking for someone that is going to be a partner that's going to complement what I'm already doing and what I've already got going on. I'm not going to be triggered or attached to any old patterns or old ways of picking someone. And I'm fine if I don't wind up having someone. I'm a whole person and...
We all know the old adage that time waits for no one. Time is a cruel mistress that can creep up on you, take away things that you covet, things that you value, because you didn't pay attention to the silent ninja in the background called time creeping up behind you in the shadows. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they have a habit of wasting time, and they're plagued by time-reality distortion, an inability to realize how much time you truly have to do certain things. See, as young people, we often think that we have forever. We have forever to accomplish our dreams. And as you get older and time begins to slip away, you start to realize that things you did in your youth can be very detrimental to the life you live when you age. And aging is a blessing. Regardless of what people say or think, the idea of getting older is a blessing from the Most High. Youth can oftentimes be chaotic, no stability. Your life is kind of hanging in the balance with every decision, but as you get older, it feels like your decisions are more set based on pattern and wisdom. You have less of these chaotic moments in your life. Now, a wise person will be able to understand this and make the adaptations, so to speak, And most men, I know, realize that this is a very important part of their survival, is living in reality without the distortion of time, the distortion of knowing when things need to be done, the distortion of not realizing that you have little time to accomplish this. Without this distortion, you can have a good record of getting things done in the right time so that you can secure something stable in your future. Unfortunately, for most ladies, they don't really understand. They don't really understand the weight of time wasted in their youth. And most really believe that life gets easier as a single woman when it truly does not. See, the things offered to a woman in her youth may seem endless and bountiful, like she's on a never-ending roller coaster of ups and downs and ebbs and flows and thrills. But as she gets older, one day, that amusement park is going to close and she's going to have to get off that ride. And she's going to wander around not knowing what reality is. She's been on a roller coaster for the last 15 years. What does she know about reality? What does she know about time? She's been living in an endless loop of thrills. And oftentimes, the same mentality that women carried in their youth is something that they try to discard as they age, because they realize that just having a certain mentality can ruin them. Survival becomes real as a woman ages. She doesn't have the help and assistance that she would hope for, or the men that she craved as a youth that would throw themselves at her feet begin to disappear. They begin to date women younger than her, or they're off the market. And this is a reality that a lot of women seem to these days not really understand. They want to act like everything will be fine forever. And that is the biggest lie ever told. They live in a time reality distortion. It's something like a syndrome. It plagues the mind, corrupts the roots of her thinking. And from there, the entire body becomes led astray. And as older men, we get to see firsthand the results of these bad decisions. We get to see the results and the outcomes of time reality distortion, what it can bring and what it can take away. You see a lot of people in your family go through that, and the delusions that they try to carry well into their 30s and 40s, even their 50s. It almost becomes sad because they really believe the lies they've told themselves over the years. And then when it's time to actually make a real change, it's too late. And that's the part that most men have to learn young. See, young men deal in a different type of reality. Everything is never given. It's always have to be earned. So you know that if you try and you work hard, eventually you can cross a certain boundary to where you can find some type of peace and stability. A lot of women don't really need to work hard. Someone will always provide them with the life that they didn't earn themselves, based on their beauty and their sexual market value. Now we understand this is basic, this is 101. But sometimes I think that people really don't understand the severity of it. What can become of your life if you waste too much time? Some people say as you get older, time seems to speed up. I don't believe that. I think that you're just more in one place, and you're more aware, and you're less chaotic, so you have time to sit and pay attention to what the world is bringing you. And that, for a wise man, is peace, because you get time to think, and you can see patterns. I always say, a wise man can always sense events churning around them and make the correct move to counteract, kind of like a game of chess. That's what life is. Unfortunately, that requires a certain depth in your thoughts. You have to be able to see outside yourself, see how the world is working with you and against you at any given time. That's how one survives. Gotta really pay attention to the patterns, the way things are working. If you don't, eventually those patterns can become a reality that you'll have to undo, health-wise, financially. It's all type of ways someone can lose track of time passing. And time distortion reality syndrome is real. It's a mental sickness. It's something that makes someone put on the blinders and not deal with reality. Unfortunately, the reason why a lot of modern men have walked away from the dating scene is because they can't deal with someone who deals with time reality distortion syndrome. You can't speak reality to these people. You can't tell them the truth. They want to live in a fantasy world, a twisted, dark fantasy, for as long as they possibly can. And unfortunately, a lot of effeminate men think the same way. They don't really think time is passing, and that eventually they'll have to fight against everything that they didn't do. Every decision will come back swinging when you get older, and it'll hit harder than Mike Tyson in his prime, I promise you. So what do you say to the young female who believes that the world will always be rolled out to her forever? Most men tend to just look away, and that seems to be the wise choice. To let them deal with what they deal with. Let reality sort them out. It's kind of like in nature. Natural selection. Natural selection is real with humans. When you don't think a certain way, or if you don't adapt. The world will deal with you. Reality will sort you out. It will separate you from the wheat, and you will find a path of failure. Now, this video may seem to be based around women, but of course, we're talking about general life understanding. Time reality distortion can ruin you. Now, it's laughable when you hear women talk about wanting dates from men and them being rich like Elon Musk, and then on the flip side, a woman 20 years later saying how she take a hot dog in the park. We're watching both ends of the spectrum of time reality distortion. The young woman is neck deep in her time reality distortion syndrome. She believes what she says, even if she may be embellishing for the sake of clicks. Seems like she genuinely believes that the world is at her feet and she deserves these things. Then 20 years later, the young woman at the end of the clips seems to think the polar opposite. Now, both are decent looking, but there's a big difference in mentality. And even though what the older woman says sounds like a dream to some men, unfortunately, to those who are actualized, they see exactly what it is. This is a woman who's failed over and over again. If she was a basketball player, through all of her relationships, she would be one of the worst shooters in history. Because if you think of every relationship she's been in, maybe 15 or 20 boyfriends, she's 0 for 20 for relationships. She hasn't successfully accomplished one. And that, in and of itself, is everything that the modern man is avoiding. No one who deals with reality from the day they are actualized as a young man into manhood, into adulthood, someone who has dealt with reality at the highest of intensity levels, can ever find a match with someone who suffers from time reality distortion. This is why modern men have taken back many steps from the dating pool, as they should. This is what a wise man does. Unfortunately, as time passes, a lot of us are going to have to sit back and get our popcorn and watch how reality sorts out those who choose not to follow what is real, what is truthful, that you don't have all the time in the world. You don't have forever to accomplish anything. They always try to distort the mind of people and tell them that at any time you can start and any time you can finish. That's true in some ways, but it's false in many more. I hope this message reaches whoever hears it and gives you a little bit of a jolt, something to make you look around and assess what you're doing and not doing. Don't be like these ladies in these videos. Don't end up like that. Be someone who is secure and glad that they live in a world free of distortion, that they understand the power of time, and that time grows more powerful as you age, and its impact can reverberate for the rest of your life if you don't take heed. Once again, you're listening to the Thinking Man's Templar, the place where we say one free mind outweighs the mind of someone who has been brainwashed, and where the soldiers can come in from the war, remove their armor, drop their swords, and have conversations with like-minded men. And indeed, gentlemen, once again, I'm at your service. More live streams to come, more videos to come. Sorry for the wait. And this has been another TMT production. Walk with faith. Keep your mind clear of nonsense and distortion. And most importantly, always cover your six.